Look at that, 4850. I've had a crush on a 4850 my whole life. I remember reading the Firepower brochure as a kid. That's how I read myself to sleep at night. Oh yeah. So we got to do an overhaul and a few other things. And so I think what I'll do on this one is the front axle, the steer motor, and the front frame, fuel tank, all that kind of stuff. We'll take with the side frames and just roll it away. So we'll get the stacks, the hood, the battery boxes, the drive shaft off, and then we wedge blocks in. You wedge a block in on each side so the chassis can't tip on the front axle, and then run the front axle away and all that stuff away, and then you just have the engine hanging out here. Your air conditioning, you got a couple of quick connectors right here. So as you unfit them, they should stop hissing at you if they do start hissing, and some of them never do stop hissing. But yeah, not the worst thing in the world to do. They're a nice tractor, and so yeah. Well, let's get her torn apart. So here's the first line is unhooked. It's just a plunger like a normal connector. As you're unthreading it, they do hiss once in a while. Use a welding glove to protect your hand because it takes very little Freon to severely burn your hand. So use a welding glove or just use the wrench. If it keeps hissing and it starts actually leaking enough to be a vapor cloud, if at any point you're nervous, just stop, let it hiss, because the worst thing that happens, you're out a couple pounds of Freon. No big deal. If you keep taking it out and you end up burning your hand or you inhale a bunch of it, well, then it could be an issue. So don't be alarmed if they keep hissing a little bit, but if they start I hit them with the air hammer because they thread back here and they can rot in the castings. And it's a whole lot easier to hit them with an air hammer and it tries to break it loose before you just bust a bolt off. Even then, it can still be a son of a gun.
Bolts loose by hand, so you can feel them, just in case one's rusty or stuck, and then I'm just using the hook gun to get them out quick.
Same thing on the exhaust. I'm gonna use the air hammer to give them a little burp. Just to help crack them loose. Then we take a wrench. Almost every time. Almost every time. There we go. There we go. Crow's foot, very handy to get down inside here on these injector lines. And by using a miniature breaker bar instead of a ratchet, it goes a million times better. On this injection pump, there should be a clamp between these top fittings, and if there isn't, be extremely careful loosening these nuts up. If you see that barrel start to turn, then just stop and figure out how to hold it. I'll do that 6 more times. All right, so the fuel high pressure lines are off, and now just take off the return line system, and then we'll go after the oil filter housing and then the injection pump. The injectors are on this particular engine are a 15/16 12-point socket to get them loose. If you got the return off, that 12-point socket can go right over. I know I'm not a professional mechanic, but this PV Blaster, God, we've had such good luck with that stuff. So the day before, you give each socket a good spray down of that and let it work its way in. And it works good. Somebody had these never seized up at one time, so that helped quite a bit. And again, just kind of feel them, you know, don't hit them with an impact gun. Just feel them, so as they loosen, you can feel it loosen and they come right out, and there you go. If they don't come out, then we got other things, other tricks up our sleeve, but this one, they came out.